Ahoj úžasňáci, já vás vítám u nového podcastu a dneska zase budeme procvičovat listening neboli porozumění angličtině v mluveném slově. Takže pokud je tohle něco, s čím bojujete a co chcete trénovat, tak rozhodně poslouchejte dál, protože vám dneska budu anglicky vyprávět o mojí nedávné dovolené na Mallorce. Mám pro vás spoustu tipů, jak to celé probíhalo, jaký jsme tam měli dny, mám pro vás nějaké zážitky a tak podobně, jak jsem řekla, celý v angličtině. Doporučuji vám, pokud si ještě nejste úplně jistý poslechem a máte pocit, že byste mi nerozuměli, tak si můžete zapnout dvojazyční titulky. Jak si je zapnout, tak já vám pošlu návod do popisku tohoto videa nebo podcastu, záleží, kde posloucháte. A rozhodně ale ty titulky začnou fungovat až v momentě, kdy začnu mluvit anglicky, takže nepanikařte, pokud vám teď nefungují ještě na tu českou část a přeskočte třeba na druhou, třetí minutku. A aby jsem se v rychlosti ještě představila pro ty, co posloucháte teď můj podcast a koukáte na video úplně poprvé, tak moje jméno je Eliška Krásná, jsem lektorka angličtiny, jazyková koučka, autorka několika kurzů a e-booků a jeden z těch e-booků si můžete zdarma stáhnout v popisku tohoto videa nebo podcastu a zároveň v popisku taky najdete odkaz na všechny moje jazykové služby, pokud byste chtěli, aby jsem se stala vaší lektorkou. Ale už nebudu dál zdržovat v češtině a pojďme se vrhnout na tu angličtinu. So let me open my notes. I have prepared a few notes so that I don't forget some important things, but I believe that it will be a nice casual chat and that's what you really want. So Mallorca, I should say, because double L is pronounced in Spanish as y, so it's not Mallorca but Mallorca, and I should know because I study and learn Spanish, as you probably know. So the idea of going to Mallorca came up, I would say, in March or in February, I'm not 100% sure, and it was Laura's idea. By the way, Laura is one of my teachers and Adelka, the other girl that went with us as well, and they are my besties, so it was the best idea to go together. Laura is obsessed with Mallorca and she has been there already 3 times and she still wants to go back. So when choosing our holiday destination, I kinda let Laura to took charge, and she did it amazingly. She started searching and she has found the best apartment possible in Mallorca, in the small city Can Picafort. And I can 100% recommend it because it was maybe 100 meters, not even maybe 50 meters away from the beach. We had huge French windows with the view to the sea and with a nice balcony, and it was like a fairy tale when you woke up and you could see the sunrise in this beautiful window and to look directly at the sea. I didn't know that it was possible to have such a beautiful view out of the apartment for such a low price. The Airbnb, if I divide it by 3, or cost 5,000 or 6,000 for the whole week. We were there since Saturday until Saturday. And there was everything we needed. There was a laundry room, there was air conditioning, a kitchen with oven and microwave. We had 2 rooms, one room with a double bed and the second room with a normal bed, and it was amazing. I had a room for my own because I really love cold, you know, and well, especially in the summer. I have my own air conditioning at home, and not many people are used to really living in quote unquote a fridge, but I am used to it, and I wouldn't have it otherwise. And the girls aren't so used to cold temperature, at least in the apartment, so it was the best thing we could do. And I wonder where to start. So I already mentioned the apartment. We also bought the tickets over or with the company Ryanair, and they were quite expensive. I would say that after COVID, the prices of tickets went really high, and it's not a standard to get a ticket for, I don't know, 800, 1000, a return ticket to Mallorca, which was possible 2 years ago. Now we got a return ticket for 5,000 or 4,200, and only with a carry-on and not a big luggage, which was a bit stressful for me. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to fit all my things into a small carry-on, but eventually I was, and it was quite okay. Actually, we used the special method of rolling your clothes so that you use all the space in your suitcase, and it worked fine. So there was nothing I would really miss. I was only angry with myself because I was packing the suitcase for, I would say, 2 continuous days on and on, so on and off. So for one day I packed, or in the morning I packed a few things, in the afternoon I packed a few things, then the next day in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, and because of that it was a huge mess, and I by accident packed 3 towels. They take up the most space and I didn't even need them, and I forgot to pack more than 1 sports bra. I was meaning to go running every morning, and I did, but it was difficult with only 1 bra for 6 runs or so. I took 6 runs, I would say. So that wasn't really comfortable, but luckily I don't sweat almost at all compared to other people, so at least that. And the flight, we booked the flight on Saturday for 6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the morning. That meant the girls needed to come to my flat in Prague the day before. Luckily, my husband went to go rafting 2 days before then, and therefore the flat was empty, and we could use it for ourselves, because otherwise the flat is quite small. We live in a 2+1 flat in Prague. And if my husband was at home, it wouldn't be that. If my husband had been at home, it wouldn't have been that comfortable as it was. So they arrived on Friday at 8 p.m. in the evening, and I went almost straight to bed because I really wanted to get some sleep, since we were going to have to wake up at 3:50 in the morning. 3:50 is a really difficult time to wake up. Luckily, not for me, because I'm used to waking up at 5 or 6 in the morning. But still, it was different, and I felt really tired. And but we made it. We were laughing. We were excited about going there. We booked a special taxi. I don't remember the name of the company now, but it's a special company that let's say provides taxi drivers to take you from anywhere in Prague to the airport, and it cost us 800 to get there from Žižkov to Prague. But I didn't want to risk going that early in the morning by public transport, because we would have to wake up, I don't know, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and still I'm not even sure if there was any public transport at night that would take us to the airport, so there was really no other choice, and it was fine. We arrived at the airport an hour before our flight, so we had a lot of time to get through the security check and through the check-in, and we didn't have any luggage besides the carry-on, so we didn't really need a lot of time. We didn't really need to be there a lot of time in advance. So we had to wait on the benches that are there before, let's say, in the gate. I think it's the gate, yes. When you enter the gate that the flight is flying off from, then there are benches at the Prague airport. So we had to wait there for a few minutes, I would say, maybe for 30 minutes or so, and then we finally got to the plane. The flight was okay. There were no complications. It was even faster than we thought it would be. It took 2 hours to get from Prague to Mallorca, and we arrived at Mallorca. What time was it? At 8 a.m. So we had still the whole day ahead of us, and we headed out of the airport to get our car. We decided to rent a car because Palma de Mallorca is the capital city with the airport, and we were heading to Can Picafort, which is a city at the other side of the island. And you know Spain, I wouldn't really rely on the public transport there, and it's not really comfortable. So we decided to rent the car for the whole week. We found a company with very fair prices, so we were really excited about it. Eventually we weren't that satisfied with the company because our car should have been there at 8:30 and it arrived at 10:15 maybe, so we had to wait for more than an hour and a half outside of the airport, and you know, that definitely wasn't comfortable. I was the driver, so when the car came, I immediately jumped on the driver's seat, and Adelka was my living sat-nav, and she was doing the best possible job she could. So she directed the way from Palma de Mallorca to Can Picafort. The highway was okay. Then maybe the last 20 kilometers of the way weren't that nice because we needed to take the really narrow streets that don't even look like the narrow roads that don't even look like roads. It's more like paths. So that was a bit difficult, but luckily there wasn't a lot of cars in the other direction, so I didn't have to avoid a lot of them. And when we arrived, we parked the car in the street. It was quite easy to park there. There were no zones, as I remember, so you could park almost anywhere. You just couldn't block the entrance to a garage or so. But that's logical. So we parked the car and we left our luggage in the car. We only took our backpacks with our laptops, and we went to a near restaurant where we sat down. It was already 12 o'clock, and so time for the lunch. I ordered a huge dish. I didn't expect it to be that huge. It was a chicken in the size of, or the double size of the size of my palm, but I was really hungry, and generally, like, I have a huge appetite. I eat a lot of food, so it was no problem to munch it down. And we thought we would wait there for maybe only an hour or two, maximum 3, but we ended up waiting there for 4 hours. Which also wasn't that comfortable, but to be honest, I didn't really care. What was funny is that we were actually sitting in a shade, but Laura, even though she was sitting in the shade, not on the sun, she got sunburned the first day. Almost impossible, I would say. I was actually I always thought that my skin is super light and white, but it isn't if I compare it to the skin of the girls. And I didn't even need to use the sunscreen, and I didn't get sunburned at all throughout the whole holiday. I am just super tanned, and I love my skin tone right now. When we got to the apartment, we were amazed of how beautiful it was, and again, thanks to Laura, it is really the best possible apartment for the price. we could find on the whole island. I don't even doubt that. If you want to see the pictures, definitely follow me on my Instagram, výuka online, because I have shared a lot and you can find it in the highlights. And if you see it, I bet that you will also ask me for the link. Many people asked me when I shared it, and unfortunately it's fully booked. But if you book it for another season, let's say another summer, I believe you will be able to find some time when it's not booked, and also make use of this amazing accommodation. So, what was a surprise to us was that in Mallorca there is you cannot drink the tap water. It's super disgusting. We almost threw up when we tasted it. So the whole week we had to buy a lot of water. We would buy it in a huge barrels with 6 liters, and you can believe me that it was difficult to constantly fill in the load in our apartment, because our apartment was in the 3rd floor and it wasn't really possible to park our car right in front of the entrance, so we had to carry the barrels, and that was maybe the most uncomfortable thing about our holiday, because we also drank a lot. I think that I hope I don't over-exaggerate if I say that we drank maybe 20 barrels of this water. So it was a lot of carrying, you can believe me. How did we spend our days? I started my day at 5 a.m. every morning because I was going for a run. Normally I would go to the gym, and I love going to the gym. I don't love running that much, if I should be honest, but I am kind of like addicted to moving, and I knew that for the rest of the day I would mainly spend just sitting down, so I wanted to at least, let's say, stretch my body or do something. So I went for a casual 5K run in the morning at 5 a.m. and I enjoyed the sunrise every day. I only ran along the seaside, and it was exactly 5 kilometers, so it was as if it was made for me. After that I would make a cup of coffee and I would sit outside in the terrace on our beautiful balcony, which was super small, but with the view it was more than magnificent, and that's actually maybe my favorite part of this whole holiday. Us 3 sitting on the balcony and just sipping on our tea and coffee and talking and enjoying the present moment. I really miss it still. After that we would eat breakfast, and then we would normally start working. We all do the same work, I could say. The girls work for me in my project výuka online, and they are the best companions I could ever think of. Sometimes I am not even sure if it's real, how did I get so lucky to have them. I don't know, but I could appreciate it even more when I was actually there working with them. When we weren't working, we went for a walk, we would talk. Then we also spent a lot of time sitting at restaurants. I would say that every day we went to at least one restaurant and ordered some new dish. I tried quite a few things that I have never tried before, such as multiple options or multiple variants of tapas. Tapas is something like an appetizer or like a small dish, very typical for Spanish-speaking countries. So I tried that, and of course I ate a lot of sea products and sea, what's it called? Sea... if I could remember just now. Okay, seafood. Well... how could I forget the word food? So I tried a lot of seafood and a lot of fish, because when I travel to a country or to a place which is pretty close to the sea, I try to eat as much fish as possible, because it is just so yummy. I was surprised that I didn't really like the fruit and vegetables that much. I thought that the taste of it and the juiciness, if it's a word, would be much better than it was. And I also expected it not to be that expensive, but it was expensive. So I didn't really munch on all the papayas and things, but I was happy anyway. When we were planning the holiday, we thought we would travel more, but it was so hot. You just cannot even exist when it's 37 plus degrees outside and the sun is shining, and the sun was shining the whole day from the morning until the evening for every day of the holiday. So instead of traveling, we only went to Alcudia one day, where we saw the markets and we took a walk. Then we sat in a restaurant and enjoyed it. It's the typical Spanish cities with really narrow and historical streets. So that was Alcudia, and I love architecture, so I was amazed by Alcudia. But after the heat, I didn't have any motivation to attempt on going on other trips, to be 100% honest with you. So we basically only worked, relaxed, slept, went for walks. We even went to the sea. Fun fact, I don't really like the sea, and I don't like to set my foot in it. I kind of feel dirty when I am in the sea, and I hate having the remaining salt on my legs and to wet my hair. I know that I am a typical, let's say, city person, and when I only think about it, I don't really like going to the water or being in the sand, because the sand is then everywhere. But one day I made myself to go to the beach, and to be completely honest with you, I actually enjoyed it, but that was all I needed, and I didn't have any need to go there some other days as well. But Laura enjoyed it a lot. She loves the sea, and she loves swimming and just chilling there and sunbathing. Adelka is something in the middle. She doesn't really enjoy it, but she can spend some time in the sea or on the beach. What was amazing is that Mallorca is a Spanish-speaking country, and as you know, I have been learning Spanish for more than a year now, and for me it was the first time when I could finally use it abroad, and it was so amazing. I understood everybody. I had amazing chat with people in the restaurants or in the shop, and I enjoyed it. I was the personal interpreter to the girls, because they cannot say anything in Spanish, so I always translated the menu for them, and I made orders for them, and it was amazing. I am now even more motivated to really work on my Spanish than I was before. So I can definitely recommend you going to an English-speaking country if you are learning English, and try to use English in real life. I would say that it will be possibly a step out of your comfort zone, but you will really enjoy it, and it will motivate you to work even harder, because it's really no joke to be able to solve problems in a foreign language. And so I would say that's quite it. That's how we spent the holiday. I was also shooting a vlog at the same time. So if you want to not only hear me describing the holiday, but you also want to see us and our our comments and the pictures, the videos, all of that, definitely check my previous video there is a vlog from Mallorca where I also gave a few tips how to learn a language when you are staying abroad, or how not to completely leave your language routine behind, and how not to lose your progress. And when I skip to the last day of our holiday, it was long. We were pretty tired, or at least I was tired, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't be able to fit all the things in my suitcase. Luckily I did, and at 10 p.m. I already decided to go to bed, because we were supposed to get up at 4:50 to again jump to the car and drive 1 hour to Palma de Mallorca and then to the airport and all of that. So we knew that there was a lot going on the next day, and since I was the driver, I wanted to be as rested as possible. But the girls decided that they would have their cocktail night, so they didn't go to sleep at all. I found them at 4:50 when I woke up, sitting in the kitchen, and they told me they didn't even go to sleep. And Adelka managed it amazingly, and she again helped me to find the right way to Palma de Mallorca, because if it wasn't for her, we would never arrive there. I am 100% sure. What was strange is that when we arrived at the airport, there was nobody we could give the car to. And it was frustrating, because we didn't really want to leave the car unlocked with the keys in it, but we had no choice, because we were waiting there for 20 minutes, and then we really needed to get going so that we don't miss the flight, so we had to leave it there, and therefore the experience with the rental company wasn't the best, but luckily nothing happened. We got on our flight and we got back home on Saturday. So that was our holiday. I believe it wasn't the last, and I hoped you also enjoyed me talking about it. Definitely let me know in the comments, where are you going, or where did you went this summer, because I'm really excited to hear your stories, or at least to find out what your destination was. A to by bylo pro dnešek všechno. Už přeskočím do češtiny, abych se s váma rozloučila. Rozhodně, pokud se vám tento podcast líbil, tak mu dejte like a nezapomeňte odebírat můj kanál, ať vám neuteče žádné další video. Nezapomeňte se taky podívat přímo na vlog z Mallorky, který najdete taktéž na mém YouTube kanálu Výuka a je online. A nakonec si neodpustím vám dát hodit vám rukavičku a nabídnout vám svoje jazykové služby, takže pokud se chcete naučit anglicky a nevíte jak na to, tak rozhodně rozklikněte odkaz v popisku tohoto podcastu nebo videa a podívejte se, jaký jazykový služby nabízím. Jsem si jistá, že tam najdete něco, co padne přímo na míru vám, a já se na vás budu moc těšit zase příště. Ahoj!